And welcome back, I think, to Jeff Kane. They're still talking, even now, they're still talking in between commercials. It's 13 days into the new year. I'm going to be forced to use this thing. I have to. It's getting too hot. It's getting too hot. How does this work again? I don't even know.
Jeff.
All right, let's maintain some kind of decorum,
Is that for a COVID-related? I hope so.
It's very COVID-friendly.
Yes.
All right, ladies.
Yes.
Let's just... by the way, Governor Charity Ngilu sent me a message just now.
Yes.
She said, Jeff, this is a very important debate.
Yes.
And we want to hear these ladies.
Yes.
Please tell them to take turns talking so that we could hear this debate.
Yes.
Governor herself.
Absolutely.
So, before the break...
Because she's a friend to both of us.
She's friends to both of you.
Yes.
So she's giving you good advice. Governor, thank you. And hopefully we will abide by what you said. Senator, you first. Before the break, you said you wanted to respond, right?
Oh, yes. Absolutely. Thank you. And I do agree with Governor Ngilu. I think it's important, Millie, that as women leaders, let us not fall into that stereotype of just being women are carry and fighting and we can't speak. Yeah, cat fights. So let's listen to each other, right? I was going to comment as far as this disrespect to the party leader. And I want to be very clear. By having contrary opinions and voicing them out, it is not disrespect. It's just democracy within the party. And when I said that our party is basically dead, meaning Jubilee, there are no organs, there are no meetings called. So we don't have a way to go give our input on anything. It's just become a dictatorial party. Then we are forced to do what we do, which is without disrespect, get out there and represent the voices of those who elected us. So we shall not sing the songs that we are being forced to sing just to make it seem nice and cozy. We will be able to hold our own, and we shall continue to do that, despite a lot of intimidations, Jeff. I can tell you that as a team and as a group that is allied one way in that party, we have faced a lot of intimidations. But because we saw an oath to protect and defend the Constitution, we shall continue to speak truth to power, and there is no disrespect in that. And I was challenging you, if you can ever find even a clip of us insulting the president. We have not done that. What we do is speak for those who cannot speak for those who elected us, and speak for those who do not have the platform that we have.
Good. And Millie didn't even interrupt.
Yeah, good.
We're doing great so far. So Millie and Senator, it's your turn to listen.
Yes.
My turn to ask you. Listen, for Baba and the president, the handshake, which yes, calmed the nerves and really made us take a deep breath.
Yes.
But maybe, and these are critics saying this, maybe there's something that's disconnected. And I asked the Senator before the break, maybe on the ground, people aren't listening to what you guys are saying up there. Maybe it's different on the ground. Have you tried to advise Baba?
Well, we advise Baba, and we advise Baba in regard to the same issues that he has stood for, that he's standing for, that he's continued to stand for. Number one, on the issues of inclusivity, which is doing very well. On the issues of peace, which is done through the handshake. But Baba cannot be in charge of how other people react, of how people pollute the air. So if, for instance, I'm preaching peace, and you decide that you want to pollute it by preaching negativity, Baba cannot have control over that. So what I want to laud Baba for is that he has done so well in bridging the gap, in building bridges where there were none. In the past, I wouldn't walk to Kiambu. Now I go very easily. I think 2 weeks ago, I was in Kiambu. I moved to different parts of the country. I mingle with people. I go to public places. I am received well. We talk with people. Before, I wouldn't do that. But if there are people who think they don't want to do that, and I don't want to get into too much about how their party is dysfunctional and all that. Really, I'm not an expert on the dysfunctionality of their parties, but I can tell you on our side, our party is doing okay. We are not shouting at Baba. We talk within structured, situations. And I like one of the things that my sister has actually said, that us allied to one side, meaning the president came and immediately they disregarded the president, they disrespected the president and decided to follow the deputy. You cannot have that in a party. So really they created the problems in the party themselves. I can only wish you the best in either mending fences or going your own way, the way you've gone with the UDA. That's okay. But on our part, under the leadership of Raila Amolo Odinga, we are going to do all it takes to bring peace, to bring inclusivity, the same things that we have talked about
Tell me something.
in the country.
If it comes,
and then, yes, and then in terms of what is going on in the, about people polluting, the country with a lot of negativity. If you notice, there's one side that has been fairly quiet because we decided we were not going to over-politic. One side has been over-politicking for the 1 year. So perhaps the only mistake we have done is to allow one narrative to run while we are not countering a negative narrative.
Tell me something.
So maybe the only thing...
Was Msambweni a wake-up call?
I wouldn't say necessarily, because there are so many factors in Msambweni, which I don't want to get into that to now. Okay. Yeah?
But you don't see it as a wake-up call? You don't see it, oh my...
No. I wouldn't say, oh my, that's not the first election that we have lost. Okay. I think for me, it's just a question of looking at different dynamics, especially more of the local dynamics. So for me, that's okay.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are many things, including the fact that who was it that, Nyamaza, we have agreed based on what Charity has said. But of course, if you want to work
if we keep quiet, it's like 3 minutes to 3 minutes, not keep quiet.
If you agree that you want to heckle, I'm also game. I'm an expert. I'm an expert. I'm not intimidating you. I am the one who was actually speaking.
You started well.
I thought you were the coordinator.
I am. Go on.
Yeah.
Your turn.
So, take a chill pill. So what I'm telling you is that for us, it's a question of, we've been there, done that, got a t-shirt, it's no big deal. So we lost that year. You lose some, you win some, big deal.
There's a few more coming up.
It's not the first we will lose, neither will it be the last. But we still remain the strongest, largest party in the whole country.
Are you ready for Machungwa?
Yes, we are. We are ready. Machakos, I think the party will give directions later. But you notice the other day, even I was there when we are, issuing certificates. There are areas where we have said we may support other parties, or we decided we are not fielding. But the areas where we fielded candidates, we are going all out there.
And you weren't worried about what happened in Msambweni?
No, we are not.
Okay.
Why would we be worried? Is it the first election we have lost?
Okay, I'm finished with you now.
Not.
I'm finished with you for now.
Yes.
Now, let me back up a bit.
Okay.
When you hear Millie, and I guess I'll say Millie because she's the one I'm sitting with here this afternoon, or rather this evening, talk about building bridges, that they are so good at building bridges and they are the quiet ones and some others are the noisy ones now with negative narratives. This is what has really awoken us, those who are allied to the Hustler Nation. You have this group of Millie and Co. that creates and causes violence right after elections, and then comes to blackmail the government that they must be included in the government or there will be no peace. And now that they have managed to cause so much havoc within our party, she's here crying more than the bereaved, trying to tell me about what's going on in our party. And first of all, ODM is not the biggest party in this country.
It is.
By the way, it's not. So they expect us to sit in a corner and just be quiet as they continue to wreak havoc. But I'm glad you've also asked her, whatever it is that they're trying to sell, nobody seems to be buying. And Msambweni, like you said, is a good example. Yes, we are not saying that they will lose every election or we shall win every election. But at the same time, based on what happened today, what we saw, which was now being interpreted differently, coming from what we saw in Msambweni, I can tell you that we are encouraged that the people of Kenya are listening to us. So we are not just making noise like you're being told here. And we are also saying you should not be able to benefit from the violence that you create. And that is why when they keep talking about the handshake, we don't seem to be buying it. We saw that exactly like we were talking about, Jeff, a week ago in America, in the US, We saw Trump and his people go there and try to take over the Capitol. And now you can see what's happening to Trump as we stand. Even those Republicans, most of those who supported, you should not be able to benefit from creating violence. You should not be able to then turn around and come and blackmail the government so that then you can be given a seat at the table. And that is why I said, personally, I believe in democracy. And when I say that, I mean, if you lose elections, you need to go home and wait for the next time around. Or rather, what they should do is export that BBI on handshake to America, because we saw Trump lose, and we didn't hear anybody talk about a handshake and including them in government.
Looks like the handshake really pissed you guys off.
Of course it did, because they want to sit here and lecture and act all cute and nice, and they are the non-violent ones. When I would ask you to play a clip of Millie calling the president stupid, and now she thinks she can sit here and lecture me about respect to the president. Millie?
Yes, I will.
Respect from your mouth.
Your turn, Millie.
Yes, thank you. And I'm going to tell you, I will lecture you about respecting the president as your party leader. When I called him stupid, he was not my party leader. And that is the difference. And the difference is, I'm telling you, and don't even bring this issue about us creating chaos in your party. We didn't. You did it very well on your own by exactly what you're doing, and you're saying, disrespecting your party leader, disregarding your party leader, ridiculing your party leader, making him look, you know, like a lame dunk president before the public. And you say it's ODM. No, it's you, Susan, and your team that have actually made your party what it is. Us, all we are doing is trying to bring peace. And guess what, Jeff? You know, we have history. We have history on our side. When we are passing even the Security Laws Amendment Act, we were the ones who are supporting you know, the democratic processes. They are the ones who are saying how this must pass. And the other day when tear gas was thrown, us, we've been swallowing tear gas like it's peremende. She can hardly handle it. But they are the ones who passed that law. So you cannot turn around here and tell me that you are the democratic person. No, you are the ones who have been supporting the wrongs. And I'm glad that the president has actually seen that he's been surrounded by wolves in sheep's clothing. And he has transformed. And he is saying that, yes, now he's in the right path. And I can tell you, the path to transformation is not easy. It is wrought with thorns. It is run with challenges. And the president will find people like you who will be trying to derail his path. And I would want to tell the president, continue. Even if you find people like Susan Kihika that are preaching a negative narrative consistently. They have done this 1 year. And I can tell you the only mistake we have done is to be quiet while they consistently preach a negative narrative that has polluted the country. That everywhere you go now, I told you a case before that now even the people who are banning the car, actually their supporters who are shouting, hustler, hustler, while they are banning a car. And they are banning a car of one of their own. Why would you do that? Right. You are actually the ones creating this negative narrative.
Okay. Senator, let me ask you this. There are those who say that this hustler narrative, coming back to the hustler narrative, is a contradiction. It's almost hypocritical because you've got, you know, millionaires and billionaires who claim they are hustlers. Isn't that a little, you know?
Jeff, and I think we began with that. The issue there is those who are saying that do not understand what the hustler is. Hustler is not about being poor or about poverty. It has those you're saying, the millionaires and even billionaires, who have at some point in life been poor, but have worked their way into where they are. And that is what we are saying to the people of Kenya, to the youth of Kenya, and to everybody else who will listen. That what we want is a government or a country where even the poorest gets a shot, a fair shot. Where even the poorest today, who has a wheelbarrow, can end up having a motorbike, end up having a car, end up having a lorry, end up even with a helicopter. Meaning it is about entrepreneurship and growing and growth. And that is to say, it doesn't mean that hustlers are just those who are right now at the bottom of the economic pyramid. They are those who have made their way up, but they still remember where they came from. And when they try to frame this conversation as the haves and the have-nots, it's not an us versus them. The hustler narrative is about bringing all those Kenyans to the table. All those Kenyans having a fair shot as you, Jeff, as me, Susan, whose father was a former MP. But now I have been able to get into the political field and not telling people or not being entitled to say you must elect me because I'm the daughter of this gentleman. And by the way, Jeff, I ran in 2013 and I didn't make it, despite having the same name as Kihika. Gonjiri, my friend, Honorable Gonjiri, beat me. And then I went on and became a speaker and now the senator. So what we are saying is you can come from wherever and be able to progressively get somewhere. But at the same time as this is happening, that we shall change the conversation in this country so that everybody gets to be at the table and everybody gets a fair shot and a chance to become something, and get away from this scenario of entitlement that only some people are supposed to have, only some people are supposed to be at the table, but open that table up for everybody.
By the way, your next move is governor, isn't it?
I think so.
Okay. Hold that point. I'm coming to you, Millie. Let me ask you this. If President Kenyatta was listening to you right now, was watching you, would you tell him, Mr. President, crack the whip in your party? Would you tell him?
I would not, because I'm in ODM. What he chooses to do with this party...
But, you know, give him advice. Millie, give him advice.
If I want to give him advice, I'll give him in private. At least I will, now that we're in the handshake, give him that due respect to him. I will not go shouting here, you know, saying all manner of things. But having said that, let me go back to the issue of the hustler. You know, and despite all the efforts that my sister Susan is trying to put, and to change it and to say that it's a, you know, it's as small as people have opportunity, really, you must show it in action. That's what we are saying. Nairobi gubernatorial elections are coming here. Who are we seeing? Bishop, another dynasty, because she was a member of parliament twice. The son was a member of parliament. Dynasty. She's the one being rewound. Since she has got that opportunity, why didn't you get a guy from Udurwa to come with a wheelbarrow? A guy who is selling mandazis or selling cabbages to come and run for gubernatorial? And especially since now your hustler narrative is so quote popular, then it doesn't matter who is appointed. Why haven't you in all these other areas that you are picked a real struggling Kenyan? So you cannot purport to say that you are pushing the agenda of the poor Kenyan when every slot that comes in, you are the ones who take. The dynasty in your setup are the ones taking. The dynasty who is Bishop, the dynasty who is Susan, you are the ones taking up all the slots. So you are not actually being genuine to Kenyans. But as to President Uhuru, I cannot say whether he should crack the whip or not. I think, really, and I said this at some point when we visited Central, which counties and where does Ann come from?
Kirinyaga.
Kirinyaga. And when we visited Kirinyaga, and I want to repeat what I said there, that the Bible, there's a story that we are told in the Bible about two sons who saw their father naked. Yeah? Yep. And one of them went and saw and went shouting, "Oh, Dad is naked." But one took the blanket and went backwards and covered the father. And they got a blessing. But the one who was shouting about the father's blessed nakedness got a curse. So you are getting a curse, my sister, for shouting about your dad's nakedness.
May I go?
Yes, you may, Senator.
Sitting here and listening to Millie, you would think she's the one who covers the naked dad. But indeed, Millie is the one who took off the clothes of the father.
But that was not my dad.
And she can sit here and talk about he wasn't the party leader, but he was the president of the Republic of Kenya. So if we are talking respect, don't talk to me about he's not your party leader so you can call him stupid on national TV and everywhere. So respect begets respect. But back to that point and to now get away from it. We have never disrespected the president, but like, when I sit here, I almost want to jump out of my skin because you can clearly tell Millie has no clue on what democracy means. If Bishop Margaret Wanjiru returns her papers and says she wants to vie for gubernatorial seat in Nairobi, is
Millie Odhiambo trying to imply that we should keep her out. How is she even a dynasty? Because she was an MP before. It's ridiculous.
And
it actually fits the hustler narrative in the sense that Bishop Margaret Wanjiru came from nowhere. She came from the bottom of the bottom. She has worked her way up, and now in fact, she should be celebrating her, because we have been saying we don't have enough women leaders at the table. We don't have enough women leaders. And you know me and my sister Millie here, we are big on gender issues. Yeah. So she should actually be celebrating her that she was bold enough in a county such as Nairobi to come forward, Bishop Margaret Wanjiru, and present her papers so that she can run under UDA. And by the way, UDA is an affiliate of Jubilee Party, and they had an agreement even before elections. And that is why you have the deputy majority leader in the Senate, Fatuma Dulo, who was elected in that party. Hold a position in the Senate. So when you talk about that we should have kept some people out, even in Nakuru County, for instance, we have a hustler, somebody from the bottom. You were saying there is no one from the bottom. Under the UDA party, the guy who returned his papers, Zuki, Anthony Masharia in Hell's Gate, Naivasha. We have Warothe. So those are people from the bottom. And what we are saying is everybody gets a fair shot. But also saying, I, as Susan Kihika, just because my father was an MP, I should also not be excluded from the table. I should also have a shot at being able to move forward or have that dream come to be.
Tell me something, Deputy President.
Yes.
If you all, that side of Jubilee, Tanga side, if you're so unsatisfied, why not walk away?
Walk away to where, Jeff?
You have this vehicle you said called UDA.
Maybe we shall use it, but walk away to where? We built Jubilee. But at the same time, you cannot sit there and continue being disrespected day in, day out. You cannot be the deputy party leader of the party and you're being told that you are persona. You should not be able to get to the party headquarters and those sorts of stuff. You cannot have the SG of the party saying all sorts of bullshit on TV and everywhere. Sorry for that language. So what we are saying is we are still members of Jubilee. We fund Jubilee. We went and formed Jubilee. And they should not be talking to us about Jubilee, because now they are crying more than the bereaved, okay? They should step away, keep to their ODM, and we shall sort ourselves out. Whether when the time comes, we shall move en masse to another party. But right now, I am supporting candidates in UDA, just like Tuju today said that Jubilee will not be fielding candidates in Machakos, supporting Wiper, fielding in Ford Kenya, supporting Ford Kenya, supporting ANC, and those ones have no agreement with Jubilee Party. Yet UDA has an agreement with Jubilee Party. So it is democracy. We shall not sit here and pick our noses as Tuju and Co do whatever they want to do to a party that we brought to be. We used our resources, we campaigned for that party, we popularized it across the country. We have so many members of parliament in the National Assembly as well as the Senate. So we shall sit tight because we are elected under Jubilee, but we are also supporting candidates in UDA. And let me do a little plug there in London Ward in Nakuru County. I'm urging all those who are watching me, who are registered voters there, let us vote for one Zuki, Anthony Washira for the London Ward, and Warothe in Hell's Gate, Nakuru County, under UDA.
Yeah, maybe I should just sit here and pick my nose.
Jeff, I think it's my turn.
That note.
And I think you actually, when she was talking, I was just amused. I was just smiling. And the reason why I'm smiling is you notice she's saying, let's not poke, don't advise us on Jubilee. And you heard me just before then. I said, I'm not about to advise on Jubilee. So I think let's also stop chasing phantoms. Because I've told you, sort out your mess. I don't want to be involved in your mess in Jubilee. But then what I can observe... But you do admit it's
a mess, yes?
Yeah, she said. So I'm just actually saying what she said. She said it's a mess. And what I can observe, based on what she's just said right now, is that they're also a bit confused. Because on the one hand, they're saying, we're in UDA, we have left that Jubilee, we are in Jubilee, we are the ones who did this, but you cannot let go. But it's understandable. You know, it's like a jilted lover. You know, the guy, you're kicked out and you're still holding on and hoping. You know, I worked in FIDA for a long time. So it's okay. You know, at one point you'll come to terms with the reality and figure out, you know, your destiny. But having said that, what I can tell you is, again, and I want to repeat, I have really no business advising Jubilee. I know what ODM as a party stands for. And that's why I actually find it laughable that she's telling me, but at least I'm glad you say that me and you are very strong on gender. My history speaks for itself. If you want me to give you my CV, I've worked with almost all the human rights organizations. I don't even need, my entire life is in human rights. So even when you're trying to lecture me on human rights, I'm just smiling. But it's good to be a later day convert. If you need some notes, I'll give you some notes a little bit so that you get to understand a little bit more on human rights issues. What we've been preaching consistently since I joined, actually since I started my work. I only did 1 year stint with Kamau and Kamau Advocates and 3 years with the government. Beyond that, my entire life is human rights. So I can tell you, we never change on some of these issues. Inclusivity, the rights of the poor, including the marginalized, the minorities, that is the strength of our party and has consistently been and will not change as the strength of our party.
If the election were held today, ladies, I'll start with you, Mheshimiwa. If the election was held today and Baba was the chosen one for...
I'll vote for him.
Would you win? Could he beat Ruto?
Yes, I would.
Huh?
Yes.
You say that with a lot of confidence?
With confidence, yes.
Senator?
Yeah.
Yes, I say with a lot of confidence.
Senator,
yes.
are you laughing at this?
That's a late night joke, huh?
Just like us, it's a late night joke.
Anyway,
One-on-one.
what's the question?
Ruto versus Raila.
Absolutely. Oh. I hate to be the one to bear bad news, but I don't see under what math or under what scenario Raila would beat Ruto. Impossible almost.
Let's get some feedback. What do you say?
Can I tell you?
It's a perfect matchup.
We sat here.
Yes.
Me,
We'll be
you,
back.
her, Honorable Joyce Laboso,
May
and I'm sorry, and I'm
May
she rest in peace.
She rest in peace.
But it is sad that I was right, and we will come back here again.
We'll be back here.
And
we'll
I
see
will
who's
be
right.
right.
And we'll come
right.
back. And we'll
I
come
will
back.
still be right.
By the way, how come
Yes.
there are not enough women governors out there? I mean, you'll be running
Oh,
next time,
and
but
Jeff,
how
I
come?
forgot something. You know, you challenged me on Bishop that I would support her as a woman. Personally, I have no problem with her as a woman. I'm only challenging the narrative. She's not the only woman. There's a woman selling tomatoes in Mudurwa. So as
Did the woman selling tomatoes return her papers to
why
run?
didn't you go and
Because
because for that
return her
one?
papers.
No, you should have gone and looked out for them.
No. If you have
because
to
the
work for yourself.
explanations are very.
She's being
they don't
funny.
know.
She knows
No,
you
I'm
have to
not
work for
being
yourself.
funny.
You're
I'm
not going to
being
get
funny.
somebody from the house.
All right, let's offer some
You are
feedback.
not true. You are not true to
Nurdin
what you say.
Khagai says, ladies, listen, blaming the citizens for wanting politics is erroneous because that's what the leaders have fed them since independence. The leaders never have their priorities right and are always thinking of the next election since it's always about them. Right? We are constantly politicking, every weekend, every week.
50% true.
Chicken and the egg.
There you go. Which came first? Chester Rex 001 says, Kenyans don't love politics. Kenyans are in dire need for change and understand changes come from the top. Okay. One more here. Amwai Brian says, the political class's utterances in most cases creates a pattern that sees us divided. Creating a hustler versus dynasty or tribal narrative will see them achieve their agenda because it touches on emotions but leaves a nation divided. A nation should not be collateral damage. Good point there, Brian. Good
Very
point.
sober.
Good point.
Yeah.
By the way, Governor Ngilu says you guys, that was a good debate after the whole hula baloo.
And thank her for bringing us back to order.
back on
Thank you, our sister
it takes
Charity, for bringing us back
takes
to
a
order.
woman.
woman.
Right.
Yeah.
And by the way, she asked the president at Mama Hannah's funeral the other day. She says, why don't you give it to me?
Yeah.
Why don't you give it to me?
Well, we said the gender issue should also be on the table. That now that people are talking ethnicity,
Now that we are rotating,
class,
it's time for a woman to
and,
Exactly.
and all that.
Yeah.
So gender can also be on the table.
Yeah.
Why not?
Are you guys always going to remain second fiddle all the time?
We shouldn't be.
Gender can also be on the table.
We shouldn't.
Yeah.
All right, closing thoughts. Let's start with the younger one here, and then we'll end up with Milli Vanilli. Go on. Senator, closing thoughts going forward. And it's only 13 days into January. Election is what, 18 months away?
Actually, like most of the tweets that you've read, it's a bit unfortunate because I think the temperatures are too high given how much longer there is before any elections come into play. And I don't think it's going to come down given that we are now hearing about referendums and all those sorts of things.
But I again think it's unfortunate because there is so many issues that are facing Kenyans. With the coronavirus being a big problem, many people are really struggling. I have some friends who are sick in hospital, and you hear about the kind of money they have to pay, and you wonder, what does that person in the village who has nothing do when they are faced with these conditions? You have an economy that's in ICU. One of the factors maybe being the corona pandemic has led to shutdowns of a lot of the businesses and industries. People have lost their jobs. So people are even having trouble or problems even putting food on the table or even keeping a roof over their heads. So the problems are many. We have a very vibrant youth in the country, but without opportunities. So my hope would be that I pray that at some point, those who are pushing BBI down our throats will see the light, and we'll see that at this point in time, we don't have money to, I would say, waste on things like the BBI or a referendum. It is not a priority right now. Our priorities seem to be upside down. We are so in debt as a country. The economy is doing so poorly. Our citizens are really suffering. So I don't think we should be using 14 billion shillings to do a BBI to please two people and their followers. So going forward, I hope, as I said, and I continue to pray, that we shall get to a point where, even if it has to be done, let it be done with the general elections in 2022, and hoping that our economy will get back on track, that praying that Kenyans will stay healthy given the corona pandemic, but also that those who will get sick will be able to access health facilities, that the issue of healthcare workers can be resolved so that our people are not being able to get the services that they need, because you cannot replace a life.
All right, and some good stuff. Mheshimiwa, you get the last word.
Yes, I think I would want to agree with the Senator on some of the issues. I want to agree with her that Kenyans are actually suffering. People are going through many challenges. Many people have lost their jobs. When I go home, I can actually see it. We are even whispering between ourselves that we see it when we go to our constituencies, that people are really suffering. Many people are facing challenges relating to COVID-19 and all that. And part of the challenges that we are facing actually largely is because of the pandemic. I think the only place where we differ is the solution. BBI actually seeks to solve some of those issues. When you are a business person, you will put in 20,000 in order that it can give birth to 1 million shillings. And so even in the midst of those challenges, we must find a solution that will ensure that money will cascade to the person that is struggling at the village level. And the BBI is talking, actually it's very strong on socio-economic issues and socio-economic rights. And it's seeking to bring food to the table of the common mwananchi. It's seeking to provide jobs at the county level by increasing monies that are going. It is seeking to generate economic growth at the county levels by the monies that are that is cascading to the county level. So we are agreed largely that Kenya is facing a challenge, and not only Kenya, because COVID is not a Kenyan creation. It's worldwide. I see it even in the US. For the first time, people are queuing to get food. And even our relatives who are there are not able to help us anymore. Why? Because it's a problem that is worldwide. But we can't stop our lives. We must seek for solutions as we forge ahead. And other than that, all I can do is also encourage us as leaders to push rhetoric that can actually unite rather than rhetoric that divides Kenya. And I want to thank Honorable Charity Ngilu for bringing us back to order so that we can preach what brings Kenya together rather than what divides Kenya. And I just want to say a Happy New Year to Kenyans, and may God bless you all.
Well,
yes,
we can have a conversation, a really decent conversation sometimes, can't we?
Yeah.
Well done. And you guys are friends anyway, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
We are, by the way.
We're actually supporting reproductive.
You didn't even give us a minute.
She has sponsored reproductive healthcare bill in the Senate, and I'm supporting reproductive healthcare bill in the National Assembly.
So you have it.
We are buddies.
So why are you guys giving me a heart attack tonight?
No, it's just that when we bring in Dynasty and Hustler, from there.
But you're both
Just have
great.
to-
You're both brilliant. Well done. Well
Thank
done.
you.
And keep doing what you... And let's have another conversation in a few
Absolutely.
weeks' time, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you so
Sure,
much.
sure,
Wow.
sure.
Goodness gracious me. Is it just me or... Okay. Senator Susan Kehega and Millie Odhiambo from Suba North. This year's only 13 days old. When you guys...
No, we're
All right. But it was good, though. Keep tweeting. I'm sure you enjoyed it as much as we did. Keep tweeting at Koinange Jeff at Citizen TV Kenya. # is JKLive. Thanks so much for watching. Good night. Good luck. God bless you all.